Don't understand why we are as protective of Meg as we are. Over the course of her career, she has centered Black women and the mental health and wellness of Black women in every single thing that she does. She has been a radical representation of the reclamation of feminism, of femininity, and also of like joy and irreverence and fun that we haven't seen in a really long time.
You'd think Megan Thee Stallion was one of the greatest champions of women's rights the world has ever seen. And that's exactly why her fans ride so hard for her. Because in their eyes, Megan stands up for Black women, unapologetically and without hesitation. Now, think back to the whole Klay Thompson situation. She accused him of cheating. And let's be honest, Klay's reputation already had its own history. But here's the thing, he was never really in a position to clap back. He couldn't fire back publicly without looking like he was punching down. That's just the reality of dating a female celebrity with a massive platform. She can take shots at you all day long, and you have to sit there and absorb it, quietly. Look at the pattern. Tory Lanez and Corey Hardrick, Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson, Devon Franklin and Megan Good. And even though Megan Good herself wasn't necessarily throwing punches, her fan base was doing it for her. The men on the other side of these situations almost never get to tell their version of events. They can't explain what they witnessed. They can't share their side of the story. They can't reveal what actually happened behind closed doors, because that's simply not how this dynamic works. But here's where it gets interesting. Those very same fans who defend Megan without question will go out of their way to find every possible reason to protect her, no matter what.
My last video on Megan Thee Stallion, because I'm genuinely getting so upset thinking about it. This is going to sound very parasocial, but I would have rather been cheated on than Megan Thee Stallion be cheated on, because, and that sounds crazy, but I just feel like I would have taken that for her than for her to deal with that on top of everything else in life she's already dealt with. This woman does not have a mother, a father, and no siblings. Like, she doesn't have really any familial presence to help guide her through these things or just like be present during the healing process. And on the outside looking in, to me, when it comes to Klay Thompson, Megan thought she found her forever. She thought like, oh, like I'm going to get married and then I have a mom and dad again, because a lot of people get married and their partner's family becomes their family too. And so I'm just like, not only is it just like, oh, she got cheated on, it's just like, I didn't have a family and you gave me a family again. And I felt like that familial presence and that sense of belonging. I spent holidays with you guys, you know, and you snatched that away whenever you cheated. Like it would, the stakes were just higher with her. And I'm just like, I would have rather, like if I could, I would take that pain away from Megan. I would have rather been cheated on than her, because I have a solid familial presence. I have parents, I have siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins. Like I have tons of people to be present while I'm dealing with heartbreak. And so I just feel like I'm better equipped to deal with that heartbreak.
Now, I did my absolute best to hold my tongue with this woman. God bless her heart. She's a young sister, and it's clear she may not fully understand the situation she's speaking on, but she's out here feeling genuinely sorry for Megan Thee Stallion, sympathizing with everything Megan has been through, because in her mind, Megan came from so much hardship, and she actually said she wishes she could take on that suffering herself so Megan wouldn't have to carry it. And I had to stop and think about that for a second. Sweetheart, Megan Thee Stallion does not know you exist, and that right there is something I genuinely struggle to wrap my head around. For those of you who have been in relationships with women, you already know what I'm talking about. There's something unique about the way some women will passionately defend another woman who wouldn't give them a second thought. Now, men do it occasionally, but generally speaking, a guy is not going to go to bat for another man unless that man has actually earned it. If you're not solid, don't expect solidarity. That's just how it works on that side. But a woman can know, fully know, that another woman is shady, that she's mistreated people, that her track record speaks for itself, and still find a way to feel compassion for her. We've seen exactly that with Megan. There's a documented pattern of how she's treated people around her, and yet the sympathy never runs dry. Try to find the male equivalent of that. Find a guy with that same reputation and watch how fast his own circle calls it out. Even if they like him, even if they respect him on some level, they'll still say, bro's out of pocket, he's doing too much. That conversation happens without hesitation. But this woman right here, she's ready to carry emotional weight for someone she has never met, likely will never meet, and who wouldn't lose a moment of sleep over her. Hold on to that thought, because what comes next makes it even harder to ignore.
Truth is, I mean, in your song, I think you said, I want them, I don't know what, I want them, you got it, some shit. We all know that I ain't never wanted none of you. It was really, come to find out, your ass behind my back that I was on first. And that ain't right, because you supposed to be my best friend. We laugh at, do that to each other. We not supposed to do that to each other.
And here's the truth of it. In her own words, paraphrasing her own song, she made it clear she never wanted any of them. But then it came out that her own best friend had gone behind her back and slept with the man she was with at the time. And that man was Tory Lanez. So think about that for a second. If Megan's closest friend, someone she laughed with, confided in, someone who was supposed to have her back, could do that to her, what does that tell you about the kind of circle she keeps? And more importantly, if someone would treat their best friend that way, what are the chances they treat a complete stranger any better? Now here's something I notice constantly, and I see it everywhere. This pattern of women pouring everything into people who give them absolutely nothing in return. You'll show up for someone's birthday, hype them up, take pictures, and support whatever they've got going on. But when is it your moment, they're nowhere to be found. They don't have the time, the energy, or even a kind word for you. And yet, you keep investing emotionally, financially, in every way into someone who doesn't even register your existence. Meanwhile, there's someone right in front of you, a man who shows up consistently, who respects you, who genuinely cares, and he barely gets a mention. No one's out here saying they wish they could do something for him. And then, people wonder why they can't seem to find or keep a solid relationship. The answer isn't complicated. The investment is going in the wrong direction. Wrong person, wrong energy, wrong place entirely. And let's be clear, Megan Thee Stallion does not care about these women defending her. There are artists out there, Taylor Swift comes to mind, who have a genuine, documented relationship with their fans. Artists who actually show up for the people who support them. Megan is not that. The only time her fans seem to matter to her is when she has a project dropping or when she needs public support to protect her image. Protect Black women becomes her rallying cry, but only when it directly benefits her narrative. There's no accountability. There never is. And here's why that matters. When you go out of your way to defend someone with no accountability, someone with a long and well-known track record of falling out with people, sleeping around in industry circles, and leaving chaos everywhere she goes, and you defend that person as if she's flawless, you are sending a message, and men are receiving that message loud and clear, even when they say nothing out loud. If a woman sat across from a man at dinner and said exactly what that young lady said, defending Megan without hesitation, ignoring the full picture, that man is mentally placing her in one of two categories. Either she's someone he might entertain briefly and walk away from, or she's someone he's figuring out how to end the night with as quickly and cleanly as possible before cutting contact entirely. Because what she just revealed about her judgment is a deal breaker. When you go on social media and make videos or comments like that, you are telling on yourself. You are showing people exactly how you think, and men who are paying attention will conclude that there's no real conversation to be had with someone who thinks that way. You can't reason through certain situations with them. The moment you raise a counterpoint, but what about what she actually did? The walls go up, logic goes out the window, and the conversation is over before it started. So rather than engage, most men will simply disengage, quietly, completely, and move on.